Welcome to the quick hitter version of Buckets, Boards, and Blocks. I'm King McClure, along with the fantastic Monica McNutt. This week, our featured discussion is with our fathers, and they have some great stories and almost make Monica cry.
When King got to be 4 or 5, I started coaching him, but I knew one day I would not be able to coach him because I wanted to be the best father, not the best coach for him. And so around the 6th or 7th grade, I gave him up and let him be coached by someone else. Then I was his father, and that was the biggest difference in his life and my life. And but I started growing in school, and eventually I went to high school, and I brought King and all of his friends to my school after I trained them for 5 or 6 years. And we won a state basketball title. Then they started changing the laws in the state of Texas. After we were the first charter school to ever win the state title, it created a lot of issues. And then I started seeing what we talked about earlier. I started seeing it done blatantly and subtly, because 15 black boys won a championship by an average of 25 points. And they did it with class. They did it with class. I mean, I was so proud of them. We were there at University of Texas, Austin. 9,000 people were there, and they were booing us when we were receiving our championship trophy in 2013. And our boys took it with class.
Wow.
But you know, at the end of the day, we just see that there's a big connection with basketball, athletics, academics, and we believe in Christianity too. When all three of them were going, you know, we're unstoppable.
Yeah, love that. That's super cool. That's excellent. King, do you remember that? Do you remember those championships?
I actually do. Yeah, I actually do. Crazy thing is, I was actually hurt when we won the state championship. I got hurt. I think the game before state, I did something. I think I dislocated my patella or something. But I was hurt, so I didn't even play in the. No, wait, yeah, I didn't even play. I didn't play in the state championship game or the game before. We still were able to win somehow.
What year was this for you? What year was this?
This was my
2013.
So that was my sophomore year. My sophomore year, yeah.
Sophomore year.
It was your sophomore year.
Sophomore year, because then junior and senior year we lost to Admont Gilder the game before state. Yeah.
Well, we moved up from 1A, from 2A. We skipped 3A and went up to 4A.
But then Texas has 6A, right?
A lot of pressure, all of that.
Yeah. Texas goes to 6A, so they moved us up from 1A. We had 100 kids in the school. They moved us up to 4A. With like, yeah, like come on.
What in the world?
That's the way politics work for them.
Oh my goodness! All right, so this brings me to go, Dad.
You're bringing concept in politics, so I would use a little bit stronger word, but go ahead.
There you go, Mr. McNutt.
I actually would love to get both of your perspectives. And Mr. McClure, I hear you saying you purposely did not coach King. My dad coached me all the way through. Well, actually, no, Dad, through middle school, and then on the AAU side, and then I had a separate high school coach, and so on and so forth. I actually saw today there is a group of college coaches, college athlete parents, something I saw on Instagram that is starting. So I'm curious what advice you guys would give both student athletes and their parents in terms of navigating some of the pitfalls that come with getting your kid to a collegiate opportunity, D1 or otherwise, because to your point, Mr. McClure, the primary focus was a free education. Let's just be honest about the McNutt household, at least. That sounds like the same for you, King.
Yeah. Well, Monica, like your dad, I would tell them to go to one of my books, The Shot Doctor, nothing but net. I talk a whole lot about being a parent and being a coach. And just because you get a hat and put the coach on doesn't mean you're a coach. I'm an educator. I can motivate anybody, you know, and I can do it in a positive way without bringing you down. And I see too many kids' self-esteem is destroyed because they didn't reach the expectations of somebody else. And so I would encourage them, there'll come a time when you can't coach your son if they're like you, and King is like me. And I see that, and I say, it's more important for me to be a father where we get along great than to be an outstanding coach and I have an issue with my son. And so now basketball is over with, and we love each other to death. So that wouldn't have happened if I had been his coach, because we both expect perfection all the time.
Good point. What about you, Dad?
Yeah, that's some powerful words there, brother Leroy. Because the parent has to check the motivations. Are they living vicariously through their child? That's not a good thing.
Yes,
and then the other thing is that you have to understand when you're working with that child, and that you're the same voice that's telling them to eat their vegetables, go to bed, take out the trash, or whatever it is. And there can be some conflict there when you want to talk to them as coach. So you have to make that distinction. And then the other thing, you have to be open. And I'm talking about being a parent here and coaching your child. You have to be open to other people being able to do things that you can't give them. And I'll give you an example here. With Monica, because I'm a referee, I knew how to teach Monica techniques, and because I played the game, I knew how to teach Monica technique, she with me when I referee a game, and she saw how people would yell at me and call me as a referee, call the names and so forth and so on. And I just told her, she said, well, don't that bother you? No, I got a job to do. You block that stuff out. People have agendas. So I taught her almost everything she needs, fundamentals of the game, shot, philosophy, how to be cool in an environment. But I could not give her the toughness of playing in an environment. So I was able to find an AAU coach, and this man who coached in the inner cities of Washington, D.C., we struck up a bond, and I trusted him to be Monica's AAU coach. I was assistant coach, and he gave her a toughness Monica would compete, but she gave a toughness to play physical, because I understood that she was going to be a good player. So as a good player, you're a target. And so that this allowed her to persevere with that.
If you'd like to hear more from King, myself, and our dads, you can check out the full version of Buckets, Boards, and Blocks from Pure Hoops Media. You also can see the video version of the BBB Quick Hitter on the Pure Hoops Media YouTube channel.